Virgo weekly reading for the week of December 30th. So let us begin with your general spread. All right, here we go. I kind of took a little break during Christmas. Chilled out a little bit right when I was catching momentum, but I'm going to be hanging out. So here we go, Virgo. Temperance. First thing that comes up with you guys right now is balance, Virgo. Balance, temperance. So this is self-reflection. Doing a little bit of self-reflection, balance. The Two of Cups and the Lover's card tells me that Virgo's really looking to strike a balance. Yeah, I think somebody's been shaking your tree a little bit. I'm going to be willing to guess that based on how these cards are playing out, you are seeking balance. You're doing a lot of self-reflection. And we have the Eight of Wands. Okay, so the Eight of Wands is a little bit of overwhelm. So you're feeling as if there's too many things going on at once, or there's, you know, maybe too many perspectives, right? Because sometimes there's entirely too many cooks in the kitchen. There's a lot of queens here. So what queens tell me about this scenario that you're going through is it's emotionally based, so emotionally charged, mostly by the base of the overwhelm. So overwhelm comes in one of two ways. One is traumatic, where it's a shocking overwhelm, and the other is lack of self-care, where we begin to fall apart because there's too much stimuli, or we've taken on too much to carry. Now, a lot of times we don't do stuff like this on purpose. Situations and scenarios put us with a burden. The Virgo has the Tower card. So that tells me, like I said in the beginning, that it's shaking your tree a little bit. So this is the Tower card I was talking about. So perhaps there's something that you were building upon that isn't panning out the way you expected. What is it that you created is one of the questions I hear in this self-reflection card. Not everything is black and white here, even though Virgo really wants it to be black and white. We have the Ten of Cups right here, black and white. But it's going to take a lot of wisdom, Strength card, to, I don't want to say correct, but navigate in a different direction. And the reason I say there's a lot of self-reflection right now for Virgo is the Temperance card. And if you look at the Temperance card, he's looking into the reflection of the water that this individual is looking at. And this is also Sagittarius energy right here. But in the top, you have these two cups. This is the angels. How the heavens, or how you feel you are connected to the cosmos. And whether these things that you feel like you're reflecting upon are in balance with what your purpose is supposed to be, or in alignment with what you say you want for yourself. So there's a lot of self-reflection going on for you. I would say that balance is key, but I'm going to say that Virgos have a hard time holding the line. This is indicated by the Page of Swords. So the Page of Swords sometimes references temper. We don't have to act out on our temper to feel ornery. But whatever situation is going on with Virgo right now, it feels like things are moving very quickly, kind of speedy. And that might be the overwhelm. Too many things are being asked of you at once. And this is where we say our boundaries, right, which makes it difficult. Intensity, so the level of emotions feels a little heavy, right, a little intense, right? Because we have this Queen of Swords wanting to walk away from something that doesn't serve you. Okay. The Strength card tells me you're coming from wisdom. So, and that also involves past experience. So you don't want to repeat things. But like I said, because there's a lot of queens involved, I would say that there are a lot of emotional decisions for you. You're turning a corner here with this Page of Cups, which is new beginnings. And that definitely not an Ace of Cups. It's not a Death card, so no major changes, but you're turning a corner here, and it's not been easy holding the line. I don't think that decisive action is what's needed right now. I really think calibration is the name of the game right now. I mean, right here we have the 10 of Wands. So, you know what? Unplug for a minute, pop into some meditation, even if it's for 10 minutes. It allows you to unplug. You ever been looking for something and then when you stop looking, you kind of fight it right where you were looking? So perspective is key here because I feel like a lot of this energy is overwhelming. I'm going to pull some cards for you from Mystic Dreamer. Let's take a look and see what your moon reading is like, Virgo. How you're thinking and feeling. I'm going to pop right on after this and do the next video. Let me see which one's next. Sometimes I do them out of order, so I have to check. Okay, let's see here. This is Virgo moon. Okay, this is Libra. Libra's next. I really do feel that Virgo's having a hard time feeling centered. It feels very scattered. I have a hard time coming back to center, which tells me that the energy around you right now is conflicting. So here's the thing. I am seeing the Death card for you in your moon reading. Transformation. So maybe you're taking things harder at heart, or they're feeling bigger than you're mentioning or that you're dealing with on the outside. I think that Virgo is really leaning heavily on intuition right now. We have the High Priestess. So this is your instincts, intuition, and psychic ability. Things that speak to you, your gut feeling, right? So your gut feeling is in play. And honestly, I'm picking up that Virgo thinks someone is lying to them. You've been in like this stuck phase for a little bit. You've got the Devil card and the 10 of Swords. So the Devil card talks to us about lies, bad habits, substance abuse, etc. But this isn't asking about an individual. This is asking about an energy. So if we're looking at the energy that's going around Virgo right now, if you translate the Devil card and the 10 of Swords together in the sentence that it belongs, 5 of Swords and the Death card tells me you're fighting change. And also that Virgo isn't letting go of being victimized. So you're carrying something over. Like maybe the scenario is over and you truly were victimized. Maybe you're in a phase where you're tired of dealing with a situation where this is going on. It doesn't take away the fact that this situation occurred. Maybe the pain is still fresh. Maybe the scenario is still active with moving parts you still have to deal with. So in that scenario, all we can do is hold on for the ride. I am seeing the 8 of Cups for a lot of Virgos, which is letting go, again, like that Queen of Swords, walking away from something that doesn't serve you. 8 of Cups means this scenario has done all it's needed to, and you've walked away from it already. So 8 of Wands, this is what I have to say about the 8 of Wands and the 6 of Swords in your reading. The 8 of Wands is fatigue. Very tired. That was what I was leaning toward with the general spread, where I was talking about this feeling of overwhelm. That's your confirmation. If you're tired, rest. If it's too heavy, put it down. Like, I don't know if I want to use divorce as an analogy, but when you're going through a divorce, it goes on for fucking ever. Like 6 months, 8 months, 3 years. It's crazy. Can we carry that amount of stress continually for all those months, even though it's continually stressful? And even having loved ones that are ill, like my dad, when he was living with me, there were moments where I was at my wit's end because there was no one else. I'm picking up wit's end. So the 8 of Wands, if you see, she's got more yet to do. And it's not exactly the 10 of Swords where there's betrayal, but there's definitely this feeling of feeling abandoned, as if someone isn't pulling their weight with you, feeling like a victim. Or maybe someone literally didn't do what they say they were going to do, or did something they said they wouldn't. Ultimately, what I am seeing is consequence. The Judgment card is in play. Sorry, this is a heavy one, but I feel like it's to be honored. Like not every reading is going to be woohoo, hold on, it's going to be great. I don't feel as if there's more trouble coming. But I do see that you're processing a lot of things right now. We have the Judgment card, which is all about, and these may not be your consequences, the consequences of others, but looking at consequences, looking at judgment. When you put something on paper, what does it really look like? Because that's what judgment's all about, is calling things into accountability, good or bad. And it doesn't mean all of this is terrible. It just means that you're going through this emotionally transformative phase right now. You're feeling stuck. A lot of ways Virgo's feeling like they're starting over. It doesn't necessarily mean that you are, but perhaps you're taking on a new lease on life and looking at things in a more positive way, which in turn is causing you to look at the things that don't serve you. And there is a lot to be grieving when we let go of these things. We feel like it'll be just easy, snap our fingers and let it go. It's whatever. It's not whatever. Sometimes these are big decisions of letting things go. What I do see for Virgo right now is imminent and deep support. We have the 10 of Pentacles, the 6 of Cups, and those both have to do with legacy. So this is your extended family. These are your best friends. These are the people that have said or vowed to stand there for you and will. So whatever support it is you think you don't have, Virgo absolutely has support. One just has to ask for it. So see, 10 of Pentacles has to do with legacy, right? 6 of Cups, nostalgia, also has to do with support. And the center of your reading is the Ace of Pentacles. And this is a pivot point. If you've been listening to my channel at all and I talk about the aces, they're not a major card, but they're definitely more energy than your minors. Your minors are like your day-to-day conversation. Your majors are like the big bombs that go off. When you've got a couple of those, I'm going to suggest that Virgo's resisting change in some ways, or some old habits are coming into play where you're taking a long look at those, right? Queen of Swords. So the next card that I pulled, because I had to peek at some of this more in depth for you, and I got the Queen of Swords. I am going to pull a card for you from Divination of the Ancients and see what your focus is for this week. But let's talk about the Queen of Swords. So the Queen of Swords is our card for decision making. It's being absolute. So this has to do with boundaries. And if you think about boundaries, sometimes people don't take it well. To book an in-depth reading, visit me, karmaondeck.com. There's classes, mentorship, and coaching. I'm going to be coming on here after this and doing Libra if you want to hang out with me. So the Queen of Swords is decisive, and that's what the cards are telling you to use as your come from, where your next energy expectation is needed is to be decisive. Let's pull this card for you from Divination of the Ancients, and we'll close out here. Prayers, smoke. Wow. So this is an interesting card to come up. So smoke, prayers. When we get stuck, there's a great quote I used to hear. Did you think to pray? Now, if you don't pray,